If you've watched any of the tutorials I've made over the last 3 years, you will know that I'm a huge advocate for any version of the SSL channel. Now, I have a couple different versions of this plugin, but I mostly use the Waves SSL channel strip, but what I'm gonna show you will ring true for any plugin provider. Now, what I specifically want to show you today and what I want to get into is how to use this on vocals so that your life is just easier when you're mixing a vocal track. Now, there are a lot of reasons why you should be using a plugin like this, and I'm going to get into some of those. But first, I just want to say you should be using an EQ that looks like this and staying away from an EQ that looks something like this. On the right side here, this is what I like to call a visual EQ. And if you are hiding behind this and scared off by these EQs with all these knobs, you are doing yourself a disservice. To find out how to become a better mixer in general, just by using EQs like the one on the left and staying away from EQs like the one on the right, go sign up for my free online mix trading that I hold a couple times a week. There are some game-changing tips in there, and I do go over the difference between these types of EQs. Link is in the description for that. Now let's quickly go over how I would handle the vocals in this pop punk bridge.
Turn this goddamn car around. We can stay in this old town.
So typically on vocals, the SSL channel is going to be my first plugin here. And this is where I'm going to do the bulk of my work. So I would typically just listen to the vocal with the music.
Turn this goddamn car around.
And then I would go to work with EQ. So typically I'm rolling off to about 100, maybe 80 or 90 hertz, rolling off everything below. Maybe I'm gonna brighten this up around 12K a little bit.
Turn this goddamn car around.
Maybe add some aggression at 1.5 and 2.5K.
Turn this goddamn car around.
Change this to 2.5, maybe give it a little boost here.
Turn this goddamn car around.
Maybe I think he needs a little bit more low end, so I'm gonna turn the bell on here, bring it to 200 hertz.
Turn this goddamn car around. We can stay in this old town.
Now, obviously, I wouldn't work so quickly if I was actually mixing the song. I'd be playing this with the music a lot and making lots of little tweaks. And by the way, you should know all of these boosting frequencies from most of my other videos. I talk about this stuff quite often. But now let's get to a little bit of the cleanup. So let's use the compressor, but we're not going to use this as our main compressor, and we're not going to use it how we would normally compress a vocal. And what I specifically want to do is just catch all the peaks here. I want all these peaks to be shaved down a bit so that this vocal is a bit more flat. So what I'm going to do on the SSL channel is first change this to a fast attack. We want this compressor to hit very quickly. I'm going to make the release the fastest it can go, which is usually always what it is on vocals. And then I'm gonna make my ratio just 3:1, pretty gentle. And then what we can do is check out our threshold. And I just am looking for maybe 3 dB of gain reduction here.
Turn this goddamn car around. We can stay in this old town. We can write it in the sand.
And we're just barely tapping it there, just shaving off those peaks ever so gently. And what this is gonna do is help our main compressor later in the chain so that it doesn't have to work so hard. Now we have one more cleanup test we can do with this plugin, and that is turn on the gate. So a lot of times when we're recording at home, you know, there's headphone bleed when the singer's singing, or maybe there's ambient sounds in the room. So why not use the gate? So what I'm going to do is just turn the gate on. I'm going to make this a fast attack. I'm going to bring the release rate to 0.4 here. And then I'm going to bring the range to 20. So this is how much we actually are turning down the signal when the gate kicks in. So you can make it turn it down a hell of a lot, almost to nothing by bringing it up there. But sometimes it sounds a bit unnatural. So now if we actually take a listen to this, we have almost no headphone bleed.
Turn this goddamn car around.
And if we actually brought the range down to 0, you're going to hear a lot more of that bleed from the headphones that the singer has on his head.
Turn this goddamn car around.
And all the breaths and all that, that could all be turned down. All we really need is the actual lyrics to the song. So just by putting this gate on, we are cleaning up a lot of that background noise. Now this vocal is really ready to be mixed a bit more. We can add our heavy-handed compressor here like I've done. We have our de-esser later in the chain. We have our saturation with the tape machine. And this is just a really great start to our vocal. Now, just to show you another really important reason why you should be using a plugin like the SSL Channel, I've created a new track and just thrown the test oscillator on there, and there's a tone being generated at 1K. And I'll mute that for you so it's not annoying. But if we open up Pro Q3 just to analyze this, we can see, yes, there's a tone being generated at 1K. Now, in between the test oscillator and Pro Q3, I've put the SSL channel. Now, if we open the SSL channel up and turn it on, we're going to notice something on the analyzer. You see this down here, this little extra bump here, and maybe if we increase the gain on this, we're going to see some more frequencies pop up. What is that, right? What is that? Well, to find out more about what this is, go check out another video that I made that goes over the importance of using analog emulation plugins in your mixes. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure and go grab a copy of my home studio mix guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. And also go ahead and register for my online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so that you can learn how to turn your home recorded tracks into a professional product.